Yeah, I just wanted to make a video about some musings of the recent events of the markets and the industry. I've been in this space for almost a decade now, and I remember Bitcoin before it was a dollar, and then going up to 30, then down to 4, then to 250, then to 80, then to 1200, then down to 250 again, then up to 20,000, then down to 4,000, then to 64,000, and now we're in the 30s. And I remember all the events, the collapse of Silk Road, the collapse of Mt. Gox, all the various interesting ventures throughout the years, like Mastercoin and Color Coins, and a litany of other things and concerns. And no matter where I go, what I do, it always amazes me that there's this constant rhyming of the attitude. So the old guards, nothing phases us anymore. We've seen everything twice just to make sure we didn't miss anything. The new people, the minute that something occurs, like for example, the collapse of a stable coin or the collapse of BitConnect or these types of things, then they say, oh my God, this is the end of crypto. Everything is over. Oh, we're all going to die. The markets are over. The dream is gone. What's happening right now is there's over $300 trillion of institutional money floating around the world looking for a home. The last 20 years in particular, there's been a hyper acceleration in the printing of money. This is what Ron Paul was talking about, all the Austrians were talking about, and nobody really listened to them. America went from $4.5 trillion in a national debt and a surplus to over $30 trillion. And the prospect of a 3% interest rate, meaning it costs you $1 trillion a year just to service your debt. This is not healthy. The world economy is not healthy. And there's now the biggest division ever between the retail investor and the institutional investor. The institutional investor, they have basically a mandate to go and push somehow, some way with their trillions of dollars under management, 10, 15% returns. Now, 10, 15% returns on top of inflation of 20%. They're doing all kinds of monkey business and shenanigans. Why is it your homes are getting so expensive? Well, because the BlackRocks of the world and the massive private funds of the world are going and buying regular, everyday 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes through big aggregators. And you wake up and you see a $250,000 home become $500,000, $750,000. Can you afford it? No, because wages don't track with that. It's a good investment for them. It's a good hedge at the moment for inflation, but it's not permanent. Last 2 years, we saw the greatest wealth transfer in human history from the poor to the rich. And now the rich are admitting that maybe all the things that they did over the last 2 years were not necessary, but they don't give the money back, the property back. You see, the Great Reset, Davos, this year I was going to go out of disgust. I'm just not going to do it anymore. Because what are they doing? They're saying you'll own nothing and be happy. All the farmland is going to be owned by the rich people and the big companies, multinational companies, international funds. All of the supply chains run by a small group of hyper-consolidated entities that are transnational. Don't give a fuck about the little person. The retail side, people are opting out. Problem is there's less money on the retail side now than on the institutional side. If you look at the selling rates of crypto, what's happened over the last 6 months is institutions have been dumping their crypto. Some, like Saylor and others, are holding on and doing everything in their power to go Team Orange. But most are looking at it as a high-risk, high-return asset. And in times of recession, reallocate your portfolio. This was always the danger of inviting the Wall Street types in, is that they would just simply treat crypto like any other asset and label it as an exotic high-risk one. And when the markets go in not the direction they want, they dump it. The retail people are holding because they are opting out of a global system that's unfair, a global system that's frankly rigged. I've seen it myself. I've been in the meetings. I've talked to the people everywhere I go. They don't give a fuck about sustainability. They don't care at all in any way, shape, or form about whether you live well Your standard of living is the same as the standard of living of your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. In fact, quite the opposite. They're trying to prepare the masses to accept a standard of living significantly less than the one that they inherited, the one that they grew up with, the one that their parents grew up with. This is no way to run the world. This is no way to live well. It's because they broke the world money system. And the entire point of cryptocurrencies are to restore some trust, credibility, and stability into the world money system. That's the entire point of the labors of this industry, the research that we do, the reason why we keep picking up shovels and fighting the good fight. Now, there's tons of experiments. Maybe fractional reserve things are not a good idea. Go figure. We've learned this again and again and again from private monies in the 19th century, and again and again and again from our banking system. And now the market is again learning the same lessons of before, only this time is pushed by the arrogance of youth as opposed to by a malicious cabal. Maybe it's a good idea to follow deflationary monetary policy, full or over reserve, if one's desires to create stability. Now, on our part, as an ecosystem and as a community of developers, a community of people building things, we've focused on first principles. Never filed a patent, never pursued intellectual property, never in any way, shape, or form restricted the youth of things or asserted that one or a few should have a control over the many. These are basic principles that we've kept with us since 2015, when the initial parts of the Cardano project were created. And every single day, what's so frustrating to me is we get stronger, yet the markets, because of institutional manipulation, amongst other factors, grow weaker. Today, right now, May 10th, 2022, there are more people using Cardano than ever before. There are more transactions on Cardano than ever before, more smart contracts on Cardano than ever before, more NFTs on Cardano than ever before, more dApps under construction than ever before. Next month, the Vossel hard fork is on schedule, which will bring the greatest performance improvement ever in the history of Cardano, alongside numerous new features for dApp development. This is just one of many events that are going to occur over the next 12 months. In addition to that, things that built entire ecosystems, like algorithmically generated stablecoins. We have JED coming. It's already on testnet. Much better design, I'd argue, than most. And it's a testimony to the hybridization of formal methods, peer review, and good engineering practices and principles. Again, basic principles. If you're building something for everyone and you're building something to last, build it well, even if it takes a little bit more money and a little bit more time. Again and again, I've always said that it's not going to be first to market. It's going to be best to market, and those who exhibit stability and resilience in the bad times that survive. That's why today we're stronger than we've ever been in the history of the project. More people than we've ever had in the history of the project. Yet that will not be reflected in the media, the prices, or the current atmosphere, because it's one of fear, greed, and it's one that doesn't seem to care about basic principles. But here's the thing, the fair weather people in all those cycles, they get drowned out, and the people who stay behind are the people who are here for the long term. And our community, in my view, is the best because they get it. They've gotten it from the very beginning. We have to do better. We have to leave behind something to those who come after us, which was better than what we found. As Augustus Caesar said, he found his city in granite and left it marble. And we want to do the same. So we look to the future. Consensus is coming. We're going to be there. The community is going to be there. And we're going to show people how strong the ecosystem is. We're going to talk about all the things that are not only just coming, are already here, but are ignored. I hear people say, oh, there's no VCs in Cardano. Well, actually, we have one of the largest around. What is Catalyst? $700 million ready to go, deployed, in a responsible manner through funds you control, the community. And every single time a voting round happens, we see more participation, we see more voting, and many of the great projects from NAMI on down receive funding from Catalyst to get started. It's what keeps great companies like DC Spark in our ecosystem and gives them the lifeblood that they need for Fint and Milkomeda and other things. And that's just the beginning. That's going to grow, especially as the voting centers come online. Participation increases. We will see thousands of projects launched in the long term every single year just from that. And here's the difference. Unlike the VCs of Silicon Valley and elsewhere,